Hello, my name is Bill Rowland. I'm a business broker with Transworld Business Advisors. I help small business owners sell their companies, and I help people who want to be their own bosses find a business to buy. Then I walk them through the process. If you get a chance, please click the subscribe button below. It helps with getting our content out so we can make more videos to help educate people. Have you been thinking about buying a business and wonder how the process works? If you're thinking about using a business broker, do you know their duties in the process and what your responsibility will be? It's amazing how people set out to buy one kind of a company and end up with something totally different. Now, before I get started, I need to say I'm not a lawyer, a CPA, or an accountant. I don't give legal, tax, or financial advice. And any statements referring to these areas are considered opinions only. Yet I am a business broker and a real estate agent. Bankers and large financial institutions like to refer to brokers like me as brokers that sell small businesses. What the large financial institutions call small businesses are not only the backbone of the country, but are also 97% of the companies in the United States. So I like to describe us as the brokers that help the 97% of businesses that sell their companies and the 97% of buyers that buy them. If you're thinking about buying a business, there is a number of business sites on the World Wide Web you can search from. But if you're thinking about buying a company within the town, city, or state you live in, my suggestion is to pick up the phone and call a local business broker. They are much more likely to know the businesses that are for sale within your area. And in your first phone call to the broker, he or she will probably be able to give you general information about the business you might be interested in, such as where it's located, what type of business it is, the selling price, the down payment, total sales of that company, the owner's discretionary spending, and a number of other things. And the most important thing about a buyer using our brokers at St. Louis West is they don't cost you a penny. You get their expertise for free because the seller pays the business broker's commission. If you find you're interested in the business the broker gave you information about, and you tell the broker you'd like to know more information about it, he or she will probably ask you to fill out a short form financial statement. The financial document will have minimal financial questions on it. After that, he or she is going to ask you to fill out an NDA, which means non-disclosure agreement. This document is basically saying you won't disclose any information you have found out about that business. Once you sign the NDA, the broker will send you 3 documents. One will be the Confidentiality Information Memorandum, also known as the CIM. The CIM will go into details about the business's annual sales, discretionary earnings, FF&E, which means furniture, fixtures, and equipment, inventory, year established, employees, pictures, and other information. The next document will be the Business Listing Information, also known as the BLI. The BLI will give you the address of the business and many of the financial numbers. You will also get the recast financials. Recast financials are one of the most important ways to find out how much money the owner is personally taking out of the business, or what we as brokers call the seller's discretionary earnings, or SDE. After looking over those documents, and you want to go further, you can ask the business broker for the last 3 years of the business's taxes. Let me caution you on putting too much emphasis on the bottom line of the taxes. Keep in mind, a financial expert has done them to minimize the taxes on that business. I would put much more emphasis on total sales and discretionary earnings than the bottom line of the taxes. Once you have these documents and you need help understanding them, you should sit down with your tax person and have he or she explain the numbers to you. Have your tax person verify the earnings Also, verify seller's representation of gross sales. Verify seller's representation of owner's discretionary spending. Every now and then I'll have a buyer ask me, is it better to start your own business or to buy an existing one? I can tell you from personal experience, it's overwhelmingly more cost effective to buy an existing business than to start your own. An existing business is already established. It has a customer base. It's operating with experienced workers and has a steady cash flow. And the pitfalls have mostly been ironed out. And very important, that owner has made a living out of that business for however many years they've owned it. The success rates for an existing business is 90 to 95%, while most startups fail within the first 2 to 5 years. Small businesses are overwhelmingly sold as asset sales, meaning you're only buying the assets of the company. This relieves you from any liability which that company has incurred over its lifetime. Once you have done your due diligence on the financial part, you should ask yourself these questions. Does the business have a strong reputation? Does it have a strong established customer base? Does the company's top 3 to 5 customers account for the majority of their sales? Is the business seasonal? Is this the right size business for you? Is it located in a place where you'd be willing to live? Do I have the skills to run this business? Does it fit my lifestyle? Do the earnings of the business provide me with an acceptable living? If you're satisfied with your answers to yourself, the next step is to have the business broker set up an appointment with the seller. Keep in mind, the seller might want to meet somewhere else besides his place of business, because at this point he or she won't want to upset any of their employees. If the seller does agree to meet with you at his or her place of business, it's probably going to be in the evening or on the weekend. Before the meeting with the seller, you should sit down and write some questions for the owner, such as, why do you want to sell your business? This is a question every buyer should ask. The seller's reasons could be they're retiring, relocating, recent health changes, or other interests. Maybe they're just taking an entirely new look at life, or they're just burnt out. You should ask, what are you going to do after you sell your business? You might be thinking, after you buy the business, the owner could start another one up right down the street. This is why a non-compete clause is necessary. The next question you should ask is, who are your key employees? And do they plan on staying on after you sell? Ask, is anyone else involved with decision making? You want to know if you're talking to all the decision makers. You should also ask, is the building leased? And if so, how much time is left on the lease? Are you current on your rent and on good terms with the landlord? Sometimes the landlord is the most important person in the process. The next question to the owner should be, are you willing to train a new buyer? And if so, how long are you willing to train for? Is training free or will there be a cost involved? When you're thinking about buying a business, all these questions are vital. But one of the most important aspects of buying a business is it should have immediate cash flow. That's a critical issue to a buyer. When buying a business, what you're buying is earnings. No matter what type of business it is, you need to make a living out of that business. So an existing business must have immediate cash flow. Now that you've investigated a company and you and your tax person has gone over the financial numbers and you're satisfied this is a company that will work for you, the next step is to call the broker and make an offer. Keep in mind, you are probably going to need 15 to 25% down with a reasonable credit score. Yet, different banks will have different requirements. At this point, the broker will probably sit down with you and help you fill out the buyer's offer contract. There is a good rule of thumb when it comes to making an offer on a business. According to BizBuySell, the largest resource on the internet about buying and selling businesses, most businesses will sell for 50 or 60% of their gross sales or 2.5 times multiple of earnings. If you look at the example, it reads, a company making $1 million in sales will probably sell for $500,000 to $600,000. But keep in mind, every business is different. There are as many variables as possible when it comes to selling a business. At this point, you might want to get an attorney involved to look over the contract before signing it. If you are going to use an attorney, please consider using an M&A attorney. M&A stands for mergers and acquisitions. These attorneys are no more expensive than other lawyers, yet they have done numerous asset sales and are well versed in the procedure. Working with an M&A attorney will make the process go much smoother. If you don't know any M&A attorneys, your broker should be able to give you 2 or 3 names. The broker will also want to know which financial institution you're going through. If you're not paying cash for the company and you don't know which institution to go through, the broker will give you 2 or 3 names. So let's say at this point you made an offer, the seller has accepted it, and you signed a contract, and you have found your SBA lender. This is how the process will probably go. This diagram is called the path to close. It explains how the process usually goes. I'm not going to go over every step in this document. So if you're interested in these steps, stop the video and take a picture of it. At this point, if you would, please click the subscribe button below. It helps with getting our content out so we can make more videos to help educate people. If you're thinking about buying a company or selling one, please give my son Bill a call or a text at 636-345-3426 or email him at brolin@tworld.com or give me a call or a text at 636-577-5189 or email me at bjrolin@tworld.com. We are St. Louis West Transworld, agents for our Transworld Business Advisors. They have been in business for 45 years, have sold over 10,000 companies. They have 250 offices and 700 brokers, and they are worldwide. Yet we are family owned and operated. If you're currently working with one of our other agents in the office and you're viewing this video for educational purposes only, please call that agent direct or call Wendy at our office number, 636-400-6100, and she will get you in contact with the agent you're currently working with. Or you can call or text her at 636-544-8422. Thank you for watching the video, and please click the subscribe button. Thank you.